Welcome to the 4 Mile Circus. 4 Mile Circus is a podcast by 4 Mile Circus, a full cycle media services company in Brooklyn, New York. My name is Sean, and, well, I've forgotten your name.
It's Nicole.
How long has it been, Nicole?
Who knows anymore? Maybe a day or two.
A day or two?
A day or two.
Okay, so just because people might be confused. Like you probably had a different name last time. I don't know. It's not like we re-listened to the show a couple times to make sure that we edited it properly.
No, we definitely don't do that.
No, it doesn't sound like it. It doesn't sound like it. So we're interviewing somebody new today. So we've had a couple of repeat guests lately.
Somebody new?
Somebody new people.
New people.
New people are exciting, Nicole.
They are?
They're exciting and fun.
Okay.
So today we are talking to...
I'm scared.
You should be.
I'm scared of change.
Change is terrifying. Change is terrifying, but important.
I guess.
It's the importance that terrifies you.
Let's just get through this now.
We should just get... We're talking with Lisbeth Kauffman, co-founder of Kitsplit today. Hi, Lisbeth.
Hello.
Hey, this isn't too scary. This is
Not
okay.
yet. Just you wait.
Starting off very friendly. It's an overall positive to start.
So that we can have an arc to the chaos.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's storytelling.
Yes.
Storytelling. It's a big part of movies, I'm told. So, Lisbeth is the CEO, correct?
Yes.
Of Kitsplit, which is a... what is Kitsplit? What is it?
Let me tell you. So Kitsplit, we are a community of about 30,000 filmmakers, production companies, and rental houses.
Mm-hmm.
And the Kitsplit platform makes it very easy for our community to rent gear to and from each other. So we believe that everyone who has a story deserves to have the tools to tell that story. So we've built Kitsplit to make it easy for folks to get the gear, like cameras, lights, lenses, as well as the insurance they need, and to connect with other filmmakers and production companies.
Cool. And we just to note, we have our stuff on Kitsplit as well.
Full disclosure, we are part of the Kitsplit community, and you can rent our stuff there if you want to.
Kitsplit.com/4MileCircus.
There you go.
That's right.
Ready with that, girl.
Doing that. In fact, the kit that we're using right now is on Kitsplit.
Nice.
Well, not these mics. I should put these mics on.
We should talk about this a
do
lot.
that. We keep doing that.
We can do that for you.
They can do that for us.
Amazing.
They can do it for us. So Kitsplit, it's not what people might assume, which is some sort of Facebook for Knight Rider fans. But it's a way for people to rent. I don't want to use the word kits. Rent gear from each other, and so tell me a little bit about like. What are kind of what are the people that are using it a lot? Like who are kind of your most typical users?
Yeah. So, and by the way, like an easy way to understand Kitsplit is we've been called the Airbnb of cameras.
Okay.
So it's kind of like Forbes, Fast Company. They've sort of named us that. So that's one easy way to understand what we do. But to answer your question, so most people using Kitsplit are filmmakers, folks working in video, production companies like you guys, 4 Mile Circus. So yeah, most folks are working on film, TV, video, some photo. And then also some larger companies like Hearst Media, Broadway Video, NBC, and so on.
Okay. So pretty much anybody who wants to make a video and has just enough cash to rent the camera or the other gear that they need.
Yeah, exactly. Anyone who's making visual content and needs cameras, lights, support, grip, any of that, we help everyone who needs gear. And yeah, we can get like we have a really big inventory of gear. And in part, it's because we're sourcing from rental houses as well as individuals like you guys and production companies like 4 Mile Circus. So as a result, we have a really wide range of prices, and so we can get great deals for anyone on a budget. And then we can also kind of scale up and source from our huge inventory and help larger productions as well.
Yeah, and we actually took advantage of that recently when we were shooting It's Normal, which we did a little check-in episode on a couple of weeks back. But
Awesome.
Yeah, if anyone's seen any of the BTS stuff, we've been posting on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all that. And our blog from It's Normal, like pretty much all of the gear that you will see is either stuff that we own that we have up on Kitsplit for other people to rent, or stuff that we rented from other filmmakers
Awesome.
on Kitsplit. And I think one of the cool things about it is, in addition to making it a little easier to get the gear you need, it also makes it so people, small production companies like ours, or individuals who have invested in that gear, when it's sitting around and they're not using it, that's a way they can generate a little bit of income to help pay off some of that gear while helping other filmmakers. So there's a nice kind of symmetry to it.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, so many people have invested in gear, and like, it's so fun to buy gear, and it's so great to own gear when you need to use it. But then when it's kind of sitting around taking up your much needed closet space, that's when it gets kind of painful. So on Kitsplit, you can rent all of that gear when you're not using it, rent it out to other filmmakers like you. And we have a really serious vetting system so that we can ensure that whoever's renting your gear is super trustworthy and professional, and like also really cool. Like, there's so many cool people on the platform that like you can meet when you're when they're giving you money to use the gear that you're not using.
I really like cool people that give me money.
Yes.
They're the coolest of the cool people.
I even like the ones that I'm giving money to, especially if they have cats in their house, which is a thing that I have gotten to meet some new cats via
Some good
Kitsplit.
cats.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Which actually was actually sort of an interesting experience. We were renting from a guy, and he subsequently decided he was going to sell it, and so he sold it to us.
Oh, nice.
And he
we were going to rent it again anyway, so we're like, well, we're going to keep needing this.
Yeah.
So
it was a nice, like, sort of it's been a nice experience for us, sort of facilitating a little bit of sort of spread out into more of the film community. Community building.
Nice.
The spread out. It sounds weird. It's like where the Blob or some kind of Steve McQueen
like that,
or something like that. Okay, sorry. I've consumed Steve McQueen. So what? One of the things I'm curious about. I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of different services that have grown up around sort of, I think, the increased number of people who are making films the last couple of years. I mean, I think like since I started and really the digital stuff really took off right around the same time, there's been a lot of services that grew up. But kind of what was that drove you and the other co-founders of Kitsplit to start it? Like, what was sort of the inspiration for it?
Yeah, good question. So my co-founders and I, we all come from the film world and the media industry. So like me personally, I grew up in film, like literally on the film set. My dad is an independent filmmaker. He makes cult horror films. You might, if maybe your audience might have heard of them.
Oh yeah. At least some of our audience.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah, and actually, so my dad is Lloyd Kaufman, who is he runs Troma Studios, and he is the creator of The Toxic Avenger, as well as dozens of other films. And actually, I think last week you guys had a woman one of the Troma filmmakers on the show, right?
Heidi Moore, yeah.
Yeah,
Heidi Moore,
very cool.
Yeah, her Dolly Deadly, which Troma picked up, and then now they're producing the sequel to it.
Awesome.
Which is almost wrapped, I believe.
Yeah.
Nice. Anyway, so all of that's to say, I grew up on the film set and have collaborated with my dad and have seen the struggle that goes into making a movie. Like, I don't care if you're, like Steven Spielberg, making movies is really difficult, no matter what your budget is and what your background. So we wanted to build Kitsplit to make it easier for people to make films and to get the gear they need. So I met my co-founders who are also filmmakers. Christina was the videographer at the New Yorker magazine and has also produced her own films. And she had the idea for Kitsplit. So she was running around going to rental houses and trying to scrape together for gear for shoots like multiple times a week. And she found herself spending more time finding gear than actually using it. And so she just had to like sit herself down and be like, this needs to change. There has to be a better way to get gear. I know there are all these filmmakers out there who own gear. I just don't know how to get to them and how to find them. Right. So the idea of creating this like network or Airbnb of cameras sort of was born out of her frustration. And then when I met her, I had grown up with the trials and tribulations and joys and chaos of the Troma world and putting together Troma films. And so this idea of creating an easier way for filmmakers to get gear really resonated with me. And yeah, so we teamed up and got Kitsplit started. Yeah, that's kind of the origin story.
Cool. So it's something, somebody's dealing with a problem and then they say, there's got to be a better solution to this. And then they make it.
Yes, exactly.
As opposed to me where I just sit there and there's got to be a better solution to this. And I buy
there's
more
no
beer.
hope. There's hope in beer.
Well, you guys take your frustration out in the art form of film.
Yes.
That is true. And
The Tara does keep accusing me of that.
it's a healthy thing to do. I mean, it's honestly, I think a successful business a lot of times comes from the same place what I would consider a successful film does. I don't mean a financially successful film. I mean an artistically successful film, which is, man, I really want to see this film. I haven't seen this done before. Oh, shit, I guess that means I need to make it.
Yeah,
Same thing.
totally. That's awesome.
Yeah.
As opposed to that,
agree.
like, what's an idea, like some people who want to have startups do, which is just, what's a way I might be able to make some money?
Yeah, totally.
I don't necessarily know anything about the business or have any idea what people actually want, but what seems like there's a lot of those conversations
There
going
are,
on.
yeah. I feel like Silicon Valley's full of it. Or people who are really smart and talented and like invent something but don't know what it's useful for.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
Or how to sell it. There's so often that split between the people who know how to do a thing and the people who know how to sell a thing, and bringing that together is tough. Or having that in one person,
Yeah, totally.
is a difficult thing.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of great ideas out there, and
And smart people.
Yeah, and there's nobody to sell it, or there's a lot of terrible ideas that are being sold great.
Yeah, I was about to say, sometimes the people who are great at selling are not the people who are great at coming up with what should be sold.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, with us, it all comes back to like the community and like the pursuit of filmmaking and storytelling. Like we exist with the purpose of enabling filmmakers and helping storytellers get their story told. So we're trying to focus on that and then build whatever we hear filmmakers need. So yeah, that's kind of our ethos and approach.
It's definitely been a nice experience for us so far.
Great.
I'm sorry, I wrote like a long question, so I have to like actually read
Ooh,
it.
I'm excited to hear it.
So you recently wrote a piece for Elle, about the Me Too movement, and that it's necessary for women to embrace boasting in order to take a more equal status to men across various fields. How's fighting the cultural pressure to be modest and embracing bragging helped with the growth of Kitsplit in the last few years? You kind of talked about this in the article, but I'd love to hear more about it.
Yeah,
And
great question.
We'll link that article in the show notes for our listeners if you would like
nice.
to read it. Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, so I wrote that Elle op-ed about sort of my take on like ways that we can kind of move forward and empower more women. And it was sort of from my own personal like experience. I feel like growing up as a woman, I've sort of been conditioned or have learned to act very modest and kind of like deflect praise and deflect compliments. Like if someone says something nice, I'm like, oh, thanks. But like you're even better. Like, let me compliment you. And I, starting Kitsplit and running this company and getting the word out has kind of taught me that can be counterproductive, that like you can't always be modest, and that you have to, there are times where you have to be boastful and like be proud of what you're working on and let the world know about it. So yeah, I've kind of been working on overcoming the like unnecessary humility. I mean, I think it's good. Like, it's of course good for everyone to be humble. Like, we don't want to be boasting all the time, but like if you're working on something and you're really proud of it, you should tell the world about it. And the world wants to hear about it. Like, if you're doing something cool, people want to know about cool shit. So I've been working on that for myself. And then it just occurred to me that we could, we as Kitsplit, as a platform, could help other women overcome their challenge with bragging or boasting or promoting. So yeah, we kind of did like a call to action to encourage women in the film industry and in media generally to brag and to let us brag for them. And really, like, we want to brag for anyone who's doing cool stuff. Like, if anyone out there, if you're working on a project and like you want to get the word out, let us know at Kitsplit. We have this community of 30,000 filmmakers, production companies, media companies, and like we love promoting people's projects, so we can kind of be like a megaphone for you and your work. So yeah, that's kind of a long answer to the question about bragging.
Long answers are good.
Long answers. Yeah.
So how do you do that? How do you brag other people's work for them? Because I think that is such a great idea, and so part of like the whole community. Goal and mission. So
yeah, totally. I mean, we're still like working on it. What we're doing now is like, it's sort of an open call. Anyone in the Kitsplit community can send us projects and like info about what they're working on or what they're proud of. And then we are promoting it through like our social media channels and on our blog and in our newsletter. So we've promoted stuff you guys are working on. Thank you for sending it to us. Or maybe we just found it because you guys are doing cool stuff, but whatever.
We've tagged you on some
nice.
stuff.
And for some people who are like really, who want to write about their work, we're giving opportunities for them to write on our blog, which has like, a decent amount of traffic, and then we also do a lot of promotion of the blog. So yeah, that's sort of we're promoting people's work through social, our blog, our newsletter. And also open to other ideas.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, we're a big fan of like helping like boost other people when we think that they're doing something cool.
Yeah.
We're it's always like, and not, I think sometimes people do it and they're like sort of expecting something in return, but I don't think that's as
no, it's not a
good.
one-to-one.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't need to be like a one-to-one. It's like, that looks cool, I want to share that.
I share
totally.
stuff with, from people I don't know who they are, and like I don't expect them to like even notice, but I'm like, this is a cool project that I want out in the world, so I want other people,
Yeah, I think that it doesn't have to be transactional, and which is nice. It can just be everybody talking up everybody else, and then suddenly we all know about each other's stuff, and we're all proud of ourselves and stuff.
That's a nice story, Sean. That was beautiful.
Doesn't it sound fun?
Yeah,
this sounds like a nice, happy future world. Happy. Yeah.
I want to talk about bragging more.
You want to talk about?
Are we? Yeah.
You can talk about bragging.
Yeah,
as much
I love
as you
your
want.
guys' thoughts on that.
Yeah, I just because obviously like I relate to that, and I think that's a thing that comes up a lot, and it's I don't have a question. I just am intrigued by. I just didn't quite want to leave the topic yet.
Yeah.
I guess is what I'm thinking about. I had a thought though. Shit, now I'm making your job editing harder because now I.
That's okay. I can fill some because I also relate to it. I mean, obviously, I've got a different kind of upbringing, being a white male in America, where I'm encouraged to talk up myself as much as possible, but at the same time was also sort of raised within a family that's like, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
So not even necessarily modest, just like, why are you talking to people? But yeah, no, I can definitely, like, when I was reading the article in Elle, I was really like taken with like particularly when you were talking about being at South by Southwest at the beginning there and watching people up there who hadn't really done anything. They just sold it. They just sold what we were talking about earlier. They'd sold an idea that had no execution, while you were so much further, but didn't feel comfortable talking it
Yeah,
up yet.
totally.
Which I might as well just read the whole article. I'm like giving away huge chunks of it.
It's a great summary.
Spoilers. But I definitely related to that, because you'll watch other people and see like, oh, they're out there and they're talking about themselves and pitching themselves, but they don't have any more than I do.
Yeah.
I should be talking up myself more. I should be announcing it more. I should be out front a little bit more, not in a bad way, not in a competitive way,
Or like a narcissistic way. It doesn't have to be that.
Yeah.
But like, how are people going to find out about your project if you don't tell them about it? And why should anybody be excited about your project if you're not confident and
Yeah.
excited in it? I mean, this is the advice
Totally.
we give people about crowdfunding, especially
Mm-hmm.
specifically,
yeah.
all the time. Like,
Yeah.
why should anyone give you money to make your film if you're all like, I don't know, I'm making a movie.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be good. Like, okay. Like,
I think all of us, or most of us, who try to make a movie, like, have that feeling though sometimes.
of course.
Or anything, start a business, start anything. You can.
I just had actually literally yesterday a related thing where I'll tell you about more details about this later, Sean. But a friend of mine had asked me to art direct a short, and we were talking about that and what that would mean. And his producer had a friend who wants to get into art direction, and he was suggesting that she shadow me and kind of be an apprentice for me during it. And I had this thing where I'm like, I should feel proud, because I've never had someone do that
Yeah.
before. And I don't think of art directing as my main thing. It's a thing I do a lot because friends of mine need it. And I'm like, okay, I can do that. And I like it. But I'm like, I shouldn't have an apprentice. Like, why is she shadowing me? There's somebody better she could shadow. Like, I'm not really, I haven't done that many. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, my friend who asked me to art direct this is very aware of like what my credits are.
Yeah,
He's very aware of my like level of experience and everything. And if he wants this woman shadowing me, I should take that. I should be like thinking like, yeah,
That's
good for
right.
me.
He gets it. Yeah.
But instead I'm like, oh no, I'm not worthy of it. And I'm
yeah.
like, the fuck is that? Like, it's bullshit. But so many of us are so trained to have that like, oh, I'm not, or if we're working on a project with somebody else, like even like, oh, that was their idea, and oh no, it wasn't really, because you don't, and it's very counter to succeeding in film world, business world, any of that, like
Totally.
And so it's tricky because obviously also sometimes it's not all in our own heads. Also, like, people will reinforce that by being fucked up and sexist and misogynistic all the time. And so it can be difficult to kind of find out how to navigate that.
Yeah, totally.
Which is part of why I think it's great you wrote this op-ed, and we can start like just very explicitly talking about it and laying out some of the hypocrisies and double standards and things like that, and figuring out how to move beyond them, hopefully.
Yeah, well put.
Thank you.
Totally agree.
It's all that coffee.
Also, you are a good art director.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you, Sean.
You art directed my film, and not
I
just
did.
because I didn't have anybody else. Plenty of people were on that movie for like 5 minutes and then gone.
But
We weren't even business partners yet.
No, we weren't. It's true. It's true.
Yeah, no, it's a great point that like it's so easy to talk yourself down and just be like, I'm not worthy of that praise. Like, no, deflect it. No. But you got to give yourself some credit. And it's not about taking credit. It's about like just being upfront with like what you did, what you've achieved, and like, yeah, letting people know.
It's true, because there's also, I mean, how many examples do we already have in history, frankly, of men just straight up taking credit for women's work?
Yeah.
And so, like, let's not do it to ourselves. Let's,
Yeah.
be sure to own what we've done and not, like, let other people kind of absorb our talent and accomplishments.
Yeah. And I think like your point about like there are men also who self-deprecate and like it's not like we should all be thinking about this stuff and like thinking about promoting and taking credit for our work and all of that. And I think, yeah, your point about fundraising is so interesting. Like, I think fundraising, like, there's so many similarities between starting a business and making a film. Like, every time you make a film, you have to basically start a business, right?
Yeah.
And, like, you have to pitch and, like, you need to figure out how to raise money. And if you're doing a Kickstarter or, like, film financing, you gotta just, like, feel confident in yourself and convince other people that your idea, this vision is worth it and is exciting. Yeah, you gotta brag and get out there.
Yeah.
Totally.
Absolutely.
Even if there's that voice in the back of your head going like, no, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
Yeah.
That shame, that like stomach clenching, like,
Yeah.
oh, there's people paying attention to me, or that like weird sense of exposure you can feel when people compliment you, when really like, we should all learn how to take a compliment. It's a good thing. Just say thank you.
Totally. It's so hard.
It is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get better and not be like, oh no, yeah, you look great, you know?
Yeah.
That thing.
Yep.
The other question I had was, so oftentimes, and we kind of already touched on a little bit of this, I think, but so typically we have a lot of artists on, so you're kind of our first like CEO type, which we're excited about because it's different, it's new and different and exciting. But we often ask artists who come on about how they promote their works, and as you were just pointing out, there's a lot of similarities between doing a film and starting a business, but we ask them how they're promoting the work. So how do you, especially when you got started, like how did Kitsplit reach out to the customer base, to the community that you've built? You just said 30,000, right? Mm-hmm. 30,000, and how did you reach out to that initial community, and then how did you build on that? Because I think that's interesting, and I think it relates also to kind of as we were saying, like film or something.
Yeah, totally. Well, I guess early on it was a lot of just like brute effort. Of just like, especially when it was just like very early on, Christina and I just had this idea. We hadn't even like incorporated the company yet. We had like thrown up a website and just kind of like, we talked to everyone we knew basically in the industry and got a lot of feedback from them on how to make this company and make this idea as useful as possible. And then we got all of those people to like sign up and list their gear and start using it. So it was a lot of just like us tapping our network, like reaching out to as many people as possible, and like getting that sort of like initial community together. And then from there, it was a lot of like word of mouth. Like people started telling other people. So I'd say the first few hundred people were like our direct contacts in the film industry and video, people we like knew and or were friends of friends. So we got them on. And then from there, it was like a lot of sort of like word of mouth of them telling other people. And then let's see, we like working with and supporting like industry organizations. So like one of the first people I got in touch with was Terry at New York Women in Film and Television. Okay. She's the executive director there, and I just found my way to her, and we were like, we want to support your community. We want to give them discounts. Can you help us get the word out to them? So she is awesome, and we love what they're doing at NYWIFT. And so she helped to get the word out to that community, and yeah, we look for ways to like support other communities basically and help them, and then we sort of get the word out that way. But it's a lot of word of mouth. Yeah. A lot of like friends telling friends. If you guys have ideas, we're always looking for more ideas on how to get the word out.
Well, our strategy has been it's sort of illegal. We kidnap people and brainwash them. But, is it really wrong if they don't file charges because we brainwash them?
They get so much joy out of being such hardcore fans.
It's true.
It's given them a purpose and identity. So I think really it's
worth it.
The side effect addiction to La Croix is a little bit creepy.
But on the other hand, the La Croix Corporation, I'm sure, is going to be like sending over that like sponsorship money to us.
Someday.
Any moment that La Croix sponsorship is going to pan out that we've been aiming for about a year now.
Have we?
Well, since that interview with Jeanette.
Where we just kept drinking it and talking about it.
Yes.
But no, I think that's, I think that makes sense. I think that tracks a lot with how we've done things. We just reach out to people that we know, and I think how just about anybody can get started. It's like you got to start there. You got to start with the people who are already like, okay, I know you're not a jerk.
Yeah, and word of mouth is like the key thing, and we've gotten a lot more mileage out of word of mouth than we have out of trying to do certain sorts of more structured businessy network things, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
Yeah, especially for like a community, I feel like it's the way to go. Like,
Yeah, because like your work speaks for itself, right? Like,
Yeah.
do your work, make it good, talk to people about it, meet people, know people, and like that kind of organic,
Yeah.
networking that's not like quite so, okay, I'm going to go out there and like glad hand or whatever, for us at least. And this partly has to do with our personalities, I think. But
What I'm very friendly.
But like that's what works,
Yeah.
and it might take a while, but then like a year later somebody is like, "Oh, hey, I saw this thing you did for so and so. Like now I need, can you do a book trailer for me?" Is for instance a thing that comes up with us a lot. Or like,
Cool.
Stuff like that,
Yeah.
and it's just that kind of natural
And it's like, it definitely takes work. It's not like it just happens. Like we
No.
were, in those early days, we were like literally calling up everyone we could think of and like figuring out how to get connected to specific people and like, pumping the network. But it's not just, but it's like meaningful.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's where the like word of mouth aspects come in. And actually now that I'm thinking about this, another thing we
Yeah.
do is we do a lot of events. Because we're, like Kitsplit, we're bringing filmmakers together one-on-one to rent gear. We're bringing them together online. But we also like bringing the community together in real life, like in larger groups at events. So we've been throwing a lot of events in New York, and now we're starting to do more in LA also. And those have been great. Those have been really fun, and also just helpful to get the word out, get people excited. Yeah.
What are some of the events you have coming up?
Yeah, good question. So we're doing a couple of events in LA. So we're organizing something we call Owner Fest. And you guys
Right.
were at Owner
That's
Fest
where
New
we were
York.
at you.
Yeah.
It's true.
It was good.
We had a good time.
Yeah.
Got some pretty pictures.
Yeah, you guys got some pictures.
Tote bag.
Yeah, some swag. But basically, yeah, so Owner Fest, for anyone in LA, it's happening June 8th, I believe, in LA and Culver City at Recon Studios. And where people are signing, you can sign up, you get like a hour and a half slot, and we've hired professional photographers to take photographs of your gear. And then in LA, we're doing a new thing where we're also taking headshots. So you can get photographs of yourself with your gear, and then just photographs of your gear. And then we're helping you optimize your Kitsplit profile so you can get more rentals. And then also we're doing some marketing for you. So this all happens at Owner Fest. So we're doing that. We're going to Cinegear. Do you guys ever go to Cinegear?
We have not, but
So it sounds very, very familiar. Tell us about
This is our first year there, but it's a big, trade show on the Paramount lot in Los Angeles.
Okay.
And like a lot of like cinematographers, DPs, filmmakers, and then a lot of the companies like Kitsplit and the gear brands, Zeiss, whatever, Sony, Canon, Red, all of that. They're all getting together and showing what they have to offer, I guess. So we're gonna be there, and we're gonna do a happy hour and a party. We're on May 30th. We're organizing a workshop with Matt Workman, who is an awesome cinematographer DP. He runs Cinematography DB, which is a community of cinematographers, and he also has developed these tools to help cinematographers figure out lighting and setup with cameras and stuff. We're running this workshop to help filmmakers develop their social media presence.
oh, nice.
And kind of walk them through stuff like what you guys are doing here with podcasts. I think it'll be a lot of focus on shooting YouTube videos, getting the look right, getting the feel right, stuff like that. So yeah, we'll be sending out more info on that if you join the Kitsplit newsletter. But yeah, those are a few events coming up.
Awesome. Those sound really good.
And yeah, as we were saying, we participated in the Owner Fest here in New York, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we were very happy about it. We were
Yeah.
both, afterwards when we debriefed, we were both like, we're really glad we went to that.
Nice.
Because sometimes you go to things like that. I mean, not like that, but other things that you get invited to, and you're like, oh, and you go and you're like, oh, that was kind of a waste of time or
Yeah.
whatever. Or like, oh, well, I met somebody nice. And we were like, oh, that was a really useful, like, we felt really good about the whole experience.
Excellent.
So,
I'm really
yeah.
happy to hear.
Everybody was very friendly.
And we're not
Good.
very friendly always. So, like, we wouldn't say it if we did not, mean it.
No, but we had a good conversation after that, and so there's more events coming, and we were actually a little bummed we didn't make it to. You guys had something at Tribeca, right?
Yeah.
With DCTV.
Yeah. And no film school.
And no film.
And no
school.
film school, yeah.
Yeah, that was so fun. It was like a big party at DCTV. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we need to make a point of coming to the next thing here in New York.
Yeah.
Because Los Angeles is just too far away. It's a really long walk.
We can't just take the private jet.
You
Or
know,
the
the secret
helicopter?
4 Mile Circus private jet.
Secret invisible.
The problem with
It's
the
in your
4 Mile
backyard.
Circus private jet is it's shaped like the logo, so it only has one wing.
That's
It
really
does not
weird,
work. It
Sean.
does not work so well.
It goes,
What? I'm a fan of Saturday morning cartoons and old toys. I figured that
It's
would work.
delightful.
It would work in the cartoon. So when we have the 4 Mile Circus Saturday morning they're not even Saturday morning cartoons anymore, are they?
Now they're like
I
YouTube
don't know.
AI generated cartoons.
Oh, really?
Of doom and
Yes,
confusion.
exactly,
Yes.
exactly.
We can link a very good article about that in the show notes, too.
Some disturbing children's cartoons on YouTube for sure.
I think I remember hearing about that and going, I don't want to go into the rabbit hole
Yeah.
for that.
No,
Yeah.
the algorithm starts spitting out some weird combinations of things.
I believe it. I believe it. Speaking of weird combinations of things, would you guys like to play a game?
Always.
Always
Sure.
play a game. All right. So I got you to fill out these cards. Answer these questions earlier. And so we're going to play the NewlyMet game, which we haven't played in a while.
No, we have not.
Last time we played it actually was at one of our events on
was.
Friday the 13th last October.
Oh,
And we
nice.
we also
Axwound.
like bringing people together.
Yeah.
It was a 4 Mile Circus Axwound Film Festival joint event where we screened the Axwound mixtape. Right?
Yeah, we screened the Axwound. Well,
Okay.
we screened the Axwound mixtape, but mostly we play games.
Yes, but it was a fundraiser for the Axwound
It was
Film
a
Festival.
fundraiser for the Axwound Film Festival. Find people looking forward to this year.
Yes.
So we've got. I asked you to answer a handful of questions.
You're not going to like my answer, Sean. And neither are you, Lisbeth, actually, because
It's just about seeing like how well you can guess what the other person
nobody's
said.
going to.
It's so for the NewlyMet game. Just let's start with you, Nicole.
Mm-hmm.
So
Don't show me those cards.
oh
Gotta
sorry.
Tip them.
So the first question I asked Lisbeth was,
Yes.
which Muppet is the best Muppet?
Oh, the best?
The best of the Muppets. Which one is the best?
Oh, that's hard. That's really hard. There are a lot of really good Muppets. I'm really Dr. Teeth.
Ooh, that is so close. That is-
Janice?
no, that is also
is Janice
close.
the one with the long hair?
Yes.
Yeah, very close.
It's Animal is what she said.
But I was
So
not, I was,
you were
yeah,
in
I
the
was
band.
band.
You were in the
Yeah.
band. It was very close. I'm sorry. This is also incorrect. The best Muppet is Grover
Oh,
and Super Grover.
Grover
They're the
is
same
very,
guys.
That's
so
very
technically.
sweet.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just always love Grover.
Well, you're a big softie, okay. I would have said Gonzo, but that's
That's fair. That's fair.
But it's really, I mean, on a different day, I might say something else.
That's true. I think I would. Of questions like that, like that's the one I'd probably have the most consistent answer to. So it'd always be Grover. I don't know why. So, Lisbeth, the first question I asked Nicole is, what was her first horror movie?
First horror movie, The Toxic Avenger. No, it's not even really a horror film. Right.
It's sort of
What would be your first horror film? I don't know. Would it be something like The Exorcist? You like a classic? No. Oh no.
I shouldn't look at you. I don't know why I'm
Rosemary-
like
Gonna
trying
give it
to
away.
I don't know. I mean, probably something in like the 80s when we were growing up. I don't
She
know.
did technically give 2 answers, so you got a
Okay.
wider range.
Oh,
that you can choose.
two
Yeah, I was going to say,
answers.
I think either should suffice. You do not have to answer both or my explanations
Yeah.
given. Give way too much info. That's okay. When I play this game.
I don't know. Let's go with The Exorcist. Let's just
go with The
stick
Exorcist.
with that, see what the answer is.
Nope.
Nicole's response was first R-rated was Pet Sematary.
Oh.
But the first at all was probably Gremlins.
Gremlins, is that a horror film? I love it. I'm not...
It's kinda. I mean, I think
creepy.
it is.
I go for a big umbrella. when
Okay.
it comes to
Yeah.
horror.
It's a wide.
It's a great movie.
It's a big tent.
It's a movie that scared the fuck out of me when I was a little kid before I'd ever seen it. So
I mean,
I had nightmares just about the commercials for that movie.
The
The
Santa
Wizard of
story.
Oz did that to me.
Well, that's a
The
scary
Flying
movie.
Monkeys. Yeah.
E.T. freaks me out still.
E.T. is.
Yeah. Oh my God. I
He's
used to have
terrifying.
nightmares as like a tiny kid about E.T.
I tried to leave. I went with my grandma and I said, I don't think I want to see this movie. I don't think I want to see this movie. Just when like, there was a weird ad for Bic pens that came up 1st, and you know the Bic pen guy who's got that like black cue ball helmet, but it looks like his head, and it just came up on screen. I was like, ah! And it was dark, and then the movie starts, and at first it's all like dark and chaotic, and you just hear noises and stuff, and that's when I just was like, it's not for me. And my grandma's like, shut up. I want to see the acclaimed blockbuster film. And then I loved it, but it was scary.
I just have never been able to get into it. And I think I first saw it on like network TV too. So it was like a trimmed down version of it. And I was like, that guy, what is that thing? Is freaking me out. So all right, so pretty close, not really, but so Nicole,
Yes.
what would Lisbeth's ideal vacation be?
Oh, that one again.
Yeah, I was running out of ideas.
Go lie on the beach in the sun by the water.
That is like almost exactly.
Yeah, you got it.
Veg out on beach. Whoa.
Yep.
Nice.
Okay.
I think we're all just thinking about,
Okay.
because I was thinking about that too. I'm like,
We're all
I'm not teaching
overworked.
this week. I think I am going to the beach tomorrow. Actually, you're going to be down there.
I will be. If you want to.
I just have to figure out when we actually have a Kitsplit rental tomorrow. I have to figure out when they're coming to pick up our lobs. So, speaking of
Great. Love
coincidence.
it. Yeah.
All right. So, Lisbeth, what was Nicole's favorite high school extracurricular activity?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna.
count both those. She put down 2 things again. I'm counting both.
Well, I
Nice.
kinda put
You're
down
making it
3,
easier.
Honestly.
Well, I mean, you're in the film industry. You're storytelling. I feel like drama, acting might be, an easy one.
Did it say high school
Or
specifically?
art.
Or?
Yes. Yes.
Like art class or whatever. After school art. No.
I did.
Skateboarding.
I think that one was pretty close.
What?
After school art.
Sure.
I think
that could
that's-
count for 2 different ones.
Yeah.
Were you a like undercover graffiti artist
I mean,
at age 14?
I wouldn't say artist. I did put on that card though. Does graffiti?
Oh,
count?
awesome.
There you go.
Nice.
Also-
Man,
also-
But
that's
not like
badass.
good graffiti, just like angry graffiti.
You also said I
pretty
sat in my
badass.
room and wrote zines. That's art.
Yeah.
I also
come
said
on.
I didn't do those, Sean. I did do
Extracurricular is very, very broad. It just means outside of the curriculum. It can be anything, Nicole.
I did do drama up until but before high school. Like in middle school, I was total drama, and then I hit high
Okay.
school and was like, I don't do things anymore.
Where'd you grow up?
Ithaca, New York.
Ah, so you were tagging all over Ithaca?
Are they still up
Yeah,
there?
just-
Are they still hunting for you?
No, I didn't actually do that much. Even I know other people who did a lot more than me, but I would do just, with the saddest part was for a while I was doing it with a washable marker.
Oh.
You just were thinking about the people who had to clean it up, and you were like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do my thing, and then they can clean it up. It'll be fine.
There was this one stop sign near where I lived, and I would just write like different underneath different things, and then it, stop like racism or whatever I was saying.
Oh,
and
stop it. Okay.
It was,
Nice.
it was politically
Good
minded graffiti,
message.
and
Of
then it
course.
would rain and wash away, and then I could go write something else.
Perfect.
That's just good planning there.
Yeah.
So, well, I'll count. I'm definitely going to count that one. You
That
can have a
counts.
button.
Ooh, thank you.
Prizes.
I like these.
All right. So, Nicole, last one for Lisbeth. What was Lisbeth's favorite TV show when she was a teen?
This one's really weird. For like a teen.
How old are you, if you don't mind my asking?
I'm 32.
Okay.
Now your whole audience knows.
Okay.
We'll just bleep it out. No, it's fine.
I'm 85 years old.
And it was a weird one for a teen.
Well, I don't know. It's kind of. Do you think it's weird?
I knew a few people who. Well, okay. I'm a few years older, and I think we were in college, but I knew people who were really into it back then, like at that around about teenish years. So.
ER? No, that wasn't on anymore when you were a teen.
That was on.
That was on until
Yeah.
until I was almost 30. I think.
Yeah.
That show was on for like 15 years. No, Wiley needed something to do before they put him on that TNT show.
Trying to think what was even on.
Yeah,
during
I was
that.
having trouble remembering.
Because I'm a little older than you, and this is probably like.
So this would be around the turn of the century.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it was like early 2000s, the aughts.
Also, I'm trying to think things that were. I did watch teen shows around them, but I'm guessing this is not a teen show since you said it was an odd thing to be into as a teen. I don't know, Emerald Lagasse, like. Just
Okay.
like that was on around.
That's very aughts, yeah.
I mean, it's kind of close.
What was it?
Sopranos.
Oh.
Right?
Well-
it's kind of like a weird middle-aged show for like a 15-year-old to be watching.
But it was also so good.
Yeah, it was really good.
That
Yeah.
yeah.
I still keep
Yeah.
getting stuck in the middle of this, like the second or third season.
You have to
Not because it's bad. It's just because I just don't get that interested in like mob stuff.
But it's not about the mob
I
stuff.
know,
to
but
me.
it's just
about
whenever the mob
psychology.
stuff comes up.
Family and the
Yeah.
characters.
Oh yeah, the family stuff probably doesn't help either.
Oh, okay. I love a dysfunctional family show if it's well done.
Yeah.
It's
imagine why.
definitely a good show.
And he's like going to therapy. That was
Uh-huh.
always interesting.
Yeah.
Little, psychological stuff.
Yeah, I actually didn't watch it its first go around. Like I saw a couple episodes, but it was a couple of years ago that I sat down and watched the whole series, and I was like, oh my god, it is so great that I can just watch this whole series now and not have
Yeah.
to wait like
Uh-huh.
2 years in between seasons.
Yeah, that's when that
Like-
was. People were first starting to get used to that. Like, what? I've got to wait 2 years for the next season of this stupid show.
Yeah.
I love this show. All right, last one for you, Lisbeth. I asked Nicole, how long would you survive a zombie apocalypse?
Oh. Is this like measured in days? I guess that's part of the answer.
Flexible.
Yeah, it's flexible. Like
I would
I'll
give
do the
you.
math if I need to.
mean, I feel like I would expect you to last. You know what you're doing.
Thank you.
Yeah, you've been storing up some like mental notes on like what to do in the zombie apocalypse,
Damn straight.
right? Yeah, I'd give you like
That's correct. That's
the answer.
a sticker. It says, "Till my natural death, I watch movies. I'm in it to win."
yes, that's exactly what I was
You were
thinking. Thank
completely
you,
on point with
because I'm
that
with
answer.
you.
Yeah.
I'm
no.
also storing up those mental tips, prepping.
This is important
See-
for me to know because
Yeah.
I always have to have my mental notes about like when the zombie apocalypse comes, who to just be like they're just dead, just let them go, and who to be
I'm
like
joining
okay,
the zombies. I've watched the movies too, and I'm just like, man, I did camping when I was a kid. I'm not camping for the rest of my life. I like plumbing. Unless I can find a group of plumbers.
And
Or
on that note,
hunters.
And on that note, that was the yeah, plumbers and hunters, and I can I don't know. I'll fix their computers. or
Plumbers and
something.
hunters, hit up Sean if you want some computer help.
In the apocalypse.
Yeah. If you need an IT guy
Exactly.
to join your hunting plumbing tribe.
I can also.
guy.
I'm also a passable teacher.
What are you going to teach?
I don't know, whatever they need taught.
Okay.
You just give me the curriculum and I'll teach it. So this is 4 Mile Circus.
Curriculum. The zombie apocalypse. Well, here's the curriculum for how to do like
Nicole.
disaster cooking.
Nicole.
Yes.
Like, the zombies aren't eating the books in the library.
But the context has changed for the curriculum. You might have to revise it a little, is all I'm saying.
I feel like there's survivalist books in there.
Okay, sure.
Great, something.
Great.
I don't know.
All right.
I don't know. But this is 4 Mile Circus podcast.
I retract all criticisms. Great plan.
It's not. It's a terrible plan. 4milecircus.com, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, 4 Mile Circus. Hey, our first feature is actually screening at the Art of Brooklyn Film Festival.
My goodness.
In the beginning of June, which should be just like a couple weeks after this. So come and see Meme with us at the Art of Brooklyn Film Festival. Look at our various social medias, where I'm sure we'll be bragging a lot about the actual specific date it's coming out. They haven't released the schedule yet, but that's going to be very exciting. And in August, Rubber Ducky, which we shot last year, will be screening at IndieWorks.
That's
and we'll talk
amazing.
about that again, too.
And on June 5th,
June 5th.
Sanctuary,
That's right, Sanctuary, which you co-directed.
which I co-directed with Jeanette Sears, will be screening at the IndieWorks Pride screening to kick off year 6 of their film screening series. And that is free.
Yes, IndieWorks is free.
Amazing.
So lots of that. And where can people find Kitsplit again?
Oh, good question. So you can rent your cameras and gear at kitsplit.com. So that's kitsplit.com.
And do you want people to find you on the interwebs?
Great question. Yes. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. We just search for Kitsplit, KITSPLIT.
Great. And we will catch people next time.
Unless the zombie apocalypse comes before then. Well,
And then
the
they
show
will probably
a
be
little
catching
different.
me
Yeah.
because they will be all zombies. And I'm going out in the first round, guys.
Looking forward to it.
All right. Goodbye.
If you like what you heard, please subscribe to us on iTunes, SoundCloud, or your platform of choice. Please visit us at 4milecircus.com to learn about our other projects and services, and be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at 4 Mile Circus.